I was at university, and after a year, I decided to leave and join the Sea Org. So in 1972, I went out to St. Hill, joined the Sea Org, and a couple of months later, I was off sailing the ocean with LOH.
Cool. And so did you get to meet LOH and stuff?
Yeah.
Wow. So what sort of person is he like? What sort of personality?
He's impressive. He's a powerful guy. And I could feel if he went for a walk off the ship, when he was coming back, I would feel him coming back when he was maybe 200 or 300 meters away.
Wow.
Poof, okay, he's on the way back. Felt his presence.
Well, if you look at the history of Scientology and his life, you look at it and you're like, wow, this guy was really able to get stuff done, you know? And it's really impressive. It's just like he was really powerful. It was just like this guiding force or something, and it's really interesting, you know?
Oh yeah, he definitely got things done.
Yeah, it's like because a lot of people be like, a lot of people will be jealous. They'll be like, how can he get so much done? How can he just do this? And he just did stuff, you know?
And it was contagious. I mean, when I left the Sea Org, I started computer programming. And I found when I would go and start writing computer programs, I'd be doing the work sometimes 5 or 10 times as fast as the existing people. I'd walk into my first boss said, okay, you finish that now. Just get a science fiction book, read it for 2 weeks. I'm not turning this in for 2 weeks. He said, it's going to make us look bad. We got used to a speed of production in the Sea Org that was way above what most people accomplish outside.
Yeah, because you look at LRH's life and you look at all the stuff he did, and you're like, shit, you know, like, wow. I mean, this guy was really talented and really had an ability, because it's just like he got a lot done. He just got cycles done, and it seemed like he did it pretty effortlessly as well.
Yeah, he didn't work with effort. He just decided, boom. He was operating at the level of postulates.
Yeah.
It's like, instead of, okay, I've got to drag my ass up out of the seat and get over there, it was just, boom.
Yeah.
He would move very quickly. Things would happen quickly. There was no effort involved.
Did you get to speak to him personally and get an idea of what sort of personality he was, in a casual way?
No. He didn't have casual conversations with most of the crew. There were only a few people there, his aides, people close to him that he talked to. And the way when he was talking with people, he wouldn't talk to people or with them. He would lecture them.
Yeah.
He wasn't a conversationalist.
Yeah.
As a speaker, a lecturer, and people would go in there, they'd sit down, and LOH would start talking, and they wouldn't get more than a sentence or two in. He'd talk for an hour and then send them off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just interesting. You'll be just get an idea of what sort of personality he was, and so you could feel his presence and stuff like that, and he was like a leader. Yeah.
He had quite a few similarities to Donald Trump, I think.
Yeah, Trump seems pretty similar. Like, he's got this sort of this powerful leaderness, because Trump did a pretty big effort in getting elected. Like, he had so much against him, and it's just like you look at it and you're like, Jesus, and he just managed to pull it off. Like, a real big Satan or something, and you know.
Yeah. I'll reserve judgment until we see what he gets done in a few years. But I'm quite hopeful, actually, that he'll make some positive changes.
Yeah, we need it. So, what were things like on the ship back then?
I suppose it was productive. People were mostly cheerful. getting things done, friendly. There was a certain level of snootiness in the upper levels,
What does that
the
mean?
upper
Like
echelons.
like they're snobbery, like they thought they were better than other people, which
Oh yeah,
Scientology has always had.
yeah. Uh, there was a there were the sort of people that the snobbish layer, but there were also a lot of people who were open, friendly, and um, proper Scientologists. Mhm. I think a lot of the people at the top felt that they were incompetent and they were sitting on a sort of missed withhold of incompetence because a lot of the people close to LOH just were not competent.
Mm.
There were only a few that I would say, well, that's somebody who got things done. And there were a lot who just, they weren't up to doing things.
Some of the people who criticize LRH, and it's just funny because you speak to someone like you and you say nice stuff about LRH, but then you hear some of these people who hate Scientology and stuff, and they just speak about him in such a bad way. What's the deal with that difference in idea of how people view him?
I think the highest tone level people that I meet who knew LOH say positive things about him. And the people low on the tone scale who knew LOH say bad things about him.
Yeah.
I mean, if one wanders over to a group like the ex-Scientology message board, it's just full of hatred. It's full of people attacking, trying to destroy, and nobody there is producing anything positive. It's all attack, destroy. And a lot of them, they're just doing it to be part of a social club and feel important.
Yeah.
Some of them have even said it to me. Oh, well, I don't know anything about Scientology, but I just go along to the protest just because it's something to be part of, and I feel like I'm doing something important.
Some of these low-tone people are just ridiculous, but it's interesting how you brought up Donald Trump earlier, because that's what I noticed is really similar in them in that, like, people either like him or they hate him. And it's like, if you listen to people who hate Trump, they just speak about him as if he's the devil, and the people who love him speak about him as if he's like heaven or whatever. And it's so similar to LRH in that, like, people are just like strongly divided, and I think it really confuses the average person because they're just like, what the hell is going on? And because the majority seem to be on the anti-LRH side, people seem to be thinking badly of him, when it's not really true. It's just nah.
Well, most people who hear something about Scientology don't actually look into it in any detail. They believe what they hear on ABC News or whatever. They just don't have a look at it sufficiently to find out what's going on.
Yeah. They're just superficial. Well, even
Yeah.
like let's say look at the homosexuality thing, and LRH said some bad things about them, right? But also in 1950, homosexuality was classified by psychiatry as a mental illness. It was also kind of illegal, and there's these extra things about it that they don't understand. And if you don't have this extra information, you just hear it and you think, oh, he's anti-gay and he's a mean person. But it's just like, no, that's not the case at all. Like, you don't know the context and the history and all this sort of stuff.